Okie doke, we are recording.
Shoot, baby! It's episode 3. We back at it. You already know. It's Moses. It's Adam. Of course, it's Aaron and Connor. We're back at it again with a Goofy Movie Podcast, episode 3.
Back by no demand.
Sadly, Brian's not able to be here with us. He has work. But he'll be here soon, hopefully. But on to what we were talking about.
However, we do have our other friend here, all the way across the sea in Korea. Not best Korea though.
Oh yeah, she first time she's not text. It's a voice.
Yeah. What's up, kids?
Yeah, we have diversity on this fucking podcast. What's up, rep?
That's right. We have on this podcast, boys, and it's gonna be a good one this week.
All right, Connor, before we hit record, you said you wanted to say something. Hit me with it, dog.
This one, I think the reason I wanted to record sort of spontaneously is that I wanted to ask all of you guys, so we can all agree a Goofy movie is leagues better than an extremely Goofy movie.
I don't know.
That's hard.
Really? Well, that's okay. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that answer. So what do you guys think?
So the thing is, I feel like I watch an extremely Goofy movie more, and I think that's because there was a direct-to-TV movie, and I was able to watch it more. Because I never personally owned a Goofy movie on VHS. No. My exposure of Goofy movie was them playing it on like projectors at school, and so I would watch it. Like I've seen it like time and time again in school.
What badass did you go to? That's awesome.
I know, right? It's actually really cool because when we had inclement weather, because we used to play outside in our elementary school. When we had inclement weather, we would go into the gym, and instead for like lunch or something, but instead of having us play like indoors because we were supposed to have an outdoor day or something or whatever, they
would split it.
No, they wouldn't split it. We would just sit down in the gym, and
I'm saying like
they wouldn't split it.
No, I'm saying like we were supposed to have a recess and a lunch, but instead of that recess of playing outside, you would watch the movie. Yeah. That's what we did at our school.
Well, no, yeah, for us it was like specifically gym, and they would use the projector on one of the big walls in the gymnasium, and they would play movies. And the one that was the Goofy movie was extremely frequent on that. That and like Monty Python, like the Holy Grail. Which
really?
Yeah, that's my first exposure to Monty Python, the Holy Grail. Yeah,
wow, that school is based.
Yeah, it's based. I'm gonna censor out my school's name.
Yeah, dude. Holy crap!
But like,
I just want to jump in real quick. I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but my school did that once too. But I swear to God, it's just because it was a Catholic school where the teachers did not know that this movie existed. They were like, "Oh, the Holy Grail. That sounds like an historical, good Christian thing to put on."
Yeah, but no. So getting back to your question, I don't know, like, because like, I've really come to really love an extremely Goofy movie. Like there was a part of me at one point that was like, "Oh, it's totally worse." But then as I've grown older, the fact that it's focused on Goofy more has made me enjoy it more.
It's a better movie because there's less Max in it.
But that's kind of crazy to think about, though, right? Because the movie itself has this. At the very least, it was advertised as having this like extreme sports angle, which is clearly like obviously the movie was made in the early 2000s. I think it might have released in 2000.
It is. Remember,
February 29th.
Yeah, February 29th, 2000.
That's crazy. Yeah, because I moved in 2001 when I was 6. So I remember having that movie when I was a kid, like before I moved. So like, 2006. No, 2001 when I was 6. I'm sorry, bleep that out.
I'm not gonna bleep that out.
but yeah, so What was the point I was trying to make?
There was one. Haha.
Aaron, that's one.
Oh, you know what? They're gonna see the fucking Robert Patterson posts on here.
Good.
Hello, viewers.
You
Thank
should
you
cut
for
this part out and just leave them there. And
I'm leaving them, but no,
you've also been blurring our names out, right?
no,
They weren't blurred out in the last ones.
no, they were
They
straight up here.
can't, but they can't, add us on Discord unless they have our number.
Yeah, they would need our numbers, which aren't there.
Okay.
But yeah, so but no, yeah. So getting back to it, you're saying like it was very much marketed as an extreme sports movie.
Yes, which I would say is definitely geared more towards like kids and preteens who were into the skating craze, back then. But you're right. The movie is much more about Goofy and what it means to be a father, what it means to be at his point in life. It's very, very little of it is about Max.
Well, if we're being a bit more honest, it's about 50-50. But the thing is, Max goes through no character arc in an extremely Goofy movie.
Yeah.
Like he has events happen. He's the one who has like a lot of events happening to him. Because he's in college for the first time. He wants to get into a fucking a fraternity. But then Brad Upperton the third.
Uppercrust the third.
Brad Uppercrust the third is like, oh, you're a fucking faggot. Fuck you.
Put some respect on his name.
He says in the movie.
but obviously he brushes him off. And
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. He was going to take in Max, but he didn't want his friends. And Max was at least had some good character.
Well, he has good characters to his friends, not toward his
Well, I'm saying he's not a complete shithead. He didn't just abandon his friends at the drop of a hat. So at least he did learn some lessons from his father.
So like he invites Max in, and he's like, you have to dump your shit with your friends, and he's like, I'm not doing that. So he brushes Max off because of that, and then those three end up competing the X.
The X Games.
Is it the X?
As part of a bet.
As part of a bet. Yeah. All this jazz, Like he has a lot of stuff happening to him, but he doesn't have any like character developing moments.
That's right.
Like
he didn't learn anything.
It's not even anything to learn anything. He didn't. He was just he was given a problem, but he already had the skills to deal with it. The only thing is that unless if it wasn't for Brad's team cheating and taking out PJ, their team would have had the skills they needed in order to
win fair and square.
To win fair and square. So it's like Max didn't need to do anything. He didn't garner any new relationships. Truthfully, Max is the same character throughout, and all the character development that was supposed to happen from a Goofy movie does not carry over to Extremely Goofy movie at all.
I would argue that it's because I was thinking about that. Mm-hmm. I would argue that it makes him kind of moving on from his dad makes a little bit more sense in this context, only because he is going off to college. Whereas, in the first one, he started off as like a shitty kid and like.
If I may interject.
Sure.
From my perspective as watching both movies, both movies are a coming of age story, but for different characters. Whereas the first one was a coming of age story for Max, realizing that he's growing up, but he also recognizing his dad isn't just some goofy loser weirdo, and is in fact like a human being, and he loves him and he should respect him. And they're starting to see each other eye to eye. Whereas Extremely Goofy movie was Goofy's coming of age story, and the fact having been this role of a father for 18 plus years, and now that role has been fulfilled and his son is moving on in the world on his own, it's now rediscovering who he is as himself and why he goes to college to learn who is Goofy beside when there's nothing left of him currently as a dad.
That's a very very astute observation, I would say. Um, but no, yeah, like what I'm saying is, what I'm saying like whatever, like I'm saying like there's very like there's very little like character development that sticks from Max from the Goofy movie into an extremely Goofy movie, because like him wanting to be away from his dad, yeah, that makes sense as he's going to college, but at the same time, like Max never once really, cares like why his dad is in college. He's like, why are you here? Not because like
He cared afterwards.
Well, I mean, like, kind of.
No, I'm saying he cared when he found out, because like they said, dude, why's your dad here? It's like, come on, guys, my dad got fired. You need a new job. He said it to his friends because his friends were like, dude, dad's gonna cramp our style. And it's like, what do you want him to do? He's got fired. He needs to get a new job. That happened in the movie because Pauly Shore was being a dick, and he's like, he got fired, man. I can't just blow my dad off.
So Pauly Shore's character was just to be the dick in like the Extremely Goofy movie. Seems like.
Pauly Shore being Pauly Shore.
Bobby was definitely better in like smaller bursts in the first movie, because he is kind of like a dickhead. Like he's just kind of like doesn't really think about anybody else.
Yeah.
Like and to further my point about like it's a coming of age story, and like think about it. Whereas you say like Max really had no like character arc. Well, in this movie, let's look at a Goofy movie. What character arc did Goofy have, really? He was still pretty much himself throughout the movie. Like,
well, his character arc is like him. Well, like, he has a character arc. That's the whole point of the song "Eye to Eye," is that they finally see eye to eye.
They both meet in the middle, in a sense. So I would say, he has like an arc. Like he learns to like, I guess he learns to trust his son more, and like.
Well, he learns that like he can't force his like life upon his son.
Yeah.
Like it's like, look, if he was like, look, I want to do stuff with you, so please come along with, but I'm not gonna force you to. Like, we can make compromises.
Exactly.
Like that's yet again, remember the climax of the movie is when the eye to eye moment, and it's literal eye to eye. And if we're if we think about it even further, maybe that's a reason why they chose to write the song the letters I to I. Maybe is because it's like two individuals.
And maybe that is the reason why. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I didn't. But what I'm saying is like it's like literally like the two eyes are finally like seeing eye to eye, like because they were thinking in the I perspective the whole time. I, me, I, like the whole time until they finally like, oh wait, let's see this eye to eye, and like finally get it like like compromise.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, again, so come Extremely Goofy movie, Max doesn't really have a character arc. He's just going through the motions for the most part. I know he hits like a down point at one point. I don't remember why exactly.
I was kind of struggling to remember that too, and once again, I'm playing the movie in the background as we.
I believe it was when he did qualify for the X Games, but it was in last, and his dad upshored him, and he was like, "You're stealing my life."
Yeah,
that's what he says. Leave me alone and get me your own life.
Yeah, because Brad recruits Goofy in spite of Max. Yeah, I forgot about. Yeah, it's like because like, and then he's like, "I'll be better than my dad. I'm the thing I'm good at." Yeah. You're totally right.
Mm-hmm.
And Beret Girl is the one who gives him Beret Girl and PJ give him the uplifting speech when he goes back to the bean bar. Whatever. But yeah, exactly. But I'm saying like but Goofy is the one who goes through like the majority of the character arc. Like he's the one who goes through an actual character arc by because the first movie is him like understanding that like he can't be like. The second movie is about
trying to recapture the time he had with his son when he was young, and with like his dad was his hero, his only hero.
Yeah, but like but come Extremely Goofy movie, the arc he's having in that one, the character growth he has, that is it's time for me to live my own life now. I've learned that to let my son live his life, and I'll be there when he. Now it's actually time for me properly, to like live my life. There's like he has a chance now, and like that's what he learns by the end of the movie. So
Does maybe I'm wrong and I'm remembering it incorrectly. Does Extremely Goofy movie like flash forward to 4 years later and they're all both graduating? Because I remember them in the robes. Is that supposed to be like, or is that was just the end of the semester?
I think
Which is weird.
Before, because it is strange. There is like a time skip at the end of an Extremely
Is
Goofy.
it like is there or isn't there? I can't remember because that'd be weird if like it's the end of the semester and they're in fucking graduation robes.
Yeah, well, that was the thing that was like super weird because I don't 100% remember myself either. Because I do remember, I know Goofy at the very least gets a diploma.
Yeah, Connor, look that up right now. Fast forward.
Yeah, I am as we speak.
But I know Goofy at the very least gets a diploma, and but then he also makes a joke. But they make a joke about a semester, don't they? Because he's like, "Gosh, you'll see me next semester," and he's like, "Huh?" And then he's like, "Just joking," and then he like kind of implies that he's gonna go, leave, and plow Sylvia. Hey, what's up?
Fuck your new mom.
Did you guys enjoy the video?
No, because we're currently talking about the Goofy movies and we're recording.
Oh, I'm gonna go now.
Do you not want to talk about the Goofy movies, bro?
I'm gonna go to sleep soon, but you guys have fun.
Have you seen either of the Goofy movies?
I think when I was a kid,
Okay.
I remember Max was a shit.
And we can all agree it's universal.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night, Gina.
Good night, Gino.
Night, Gino.
But yeah, like, because like because I know Goofy makes a joke about like staying in college longer, and Max freaks out a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like you know what? Maybe what's it called? Goofy already had some like college credits.
I'm looking
Maybe
at it.
he was a fraud. Maybe Goofy was like that fake Russian princess. What was her name?
Anastasia.
No, Anna Sorokin.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have
That's
no idea where you're going.
Look, I know this may seem like a meme to you, Aaron, but we're being serious.
I'm sorry, I forgot about.
This is we're talking about the Goofy movies, okay?
Look, like
This isn't a joke.
If you have real life like allegories and anecdotes that can be used to compare to a Goofy movie, that we're more than willing to be like
When I touched my dead grandpa's hand at his wake, I saw Goofy in his eye.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna cut that or not. I'm not. I'm leaving that in. But Connor,
that's on her. She made that joke all her own.
yeah,
So.
she did. Connor, you got anything?
I'm looking now. Only Goofy graduates. So he got probably not. He probably didn't. He doesn't have like a 4-year degree. I don't think because the rest of the
Well,
I think he did go to college way back when he never finished, and
Well,
this
that's
is probably just
yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say maybe he has like leftover credits or something. Because I was actually about to say because again, at the very as Adam has mentioned before, at the very beginning of Goof Troop, Goofy is in a trailer park, correct?
yes.
What? Okay.
They move. Yeah, they move into Spoonerville.
They move into Spooniver. I'm gonna hit you guys with a hot, fresh theory. You ready to hear it?
Lay it
Yeah.
on me.
Goofy was going to college. At this point, he was already a semi-successful actor. But while going to college and acting in films, he meets a young lady, accidentally knocks her up, leaves school, in order to raise full time. At some point, the mother leaves the picture. Rather, it's through her possible death, which is what most which is the prevailing theory, or her just leaving. It's just Max and him at the trailer park. Well, eventually, maybe like he's not getting as much royalties. Maybe like the royalties like dried up until the House of Mouse. And so he was just working like blue collar jobs essentially until he and Max ended up in a trailer park, and that's where like Goof Troop starts up from.
Yeah, because like I discussed this like before. It's like he moved back to Spoonerville and he had a house there. How did he get the house? Like I'm wondering. Like my belief is like that was his father's house and it was left him in his will. Maybe the father, like his dad, passed away and the wake.
Yeah, maybe like a family member.
He left him his house.
Yeah, maybe a family member of the Goof, so like of Goofy, like died, passed away, and like left him the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel so I think that's actually a very solid theory because it lines up.
Yeah, it connects like the canon of like all the things that Goofy's appeared in.
Because like if you're a young hot actor, you're working with Mickey Mouse.
Like Goofy.
Well, no, I'm saying like if you're a young successful actor, like working with Mickey Mouse and like Donald Duck at the height of their popularity. You meet a nice young lady, you knock her up, then you drop out of college in order to be more consistent and you're like to have like more consistent paycheck come in.
Yeah.
Because like that all makes sense to me, and like yet again, like it's heavily alluded to the mother died, and like maybe the royalties dried up because like the things weren't popular anymore because other things are popular in the world instead.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I wanted to bring up is that I wonder if the Goofy movie, the first one, is meant to be viewed with Goof Troop behind you. You know what I mean? Like having watched at least a good amount.
I mean, I feel like it really does.
Yeah, because I just have like the first episode on in the background right now, and you can tell like Goof with Max, he's not an angsty teenager yet.
Not yet.
Of course, he still like disobeys his dad and like does like kids.
Well, I mean, like yeah, he
He has a much closer relationship with his dad than he does in the movies.
I yet again like it's pretty much confirmed that the Goofy movie is a sequel to Goof Troop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Goof Troop is required viewing.
It's the end of Evangelion of Goof Troop.
Because I mean, like, there's that whole line, like, they said, like, I want us to be close again. He's like, I'm not your little boy anymore. I've grown up,
Yeah.
So, like...
Did you notice that towards the end of the Goofy movie, that he had a lot of white powder coming out his nose?
Shut up.
Don't you dare sully the name of Goofy in this podcast.
Can someone do a quick search on on one of the wikis and see if Roxanne ever popped up on Goof Troop?
There's no
I think she did. I do not believe she ever did.
But I'll look it up.
Because because if she did, that even further cements the connection itself.
No, she only appears in a Goofy movie, and then House of Mouse, and then that one episode of DuckTales.
Yeah, we've shown that frame.
And with Disney Adventures comics. Where do these fall in our canon?
I know I referenced the Donald Duck comic where he actually has PTSD, but like there's actually I'll say this: if we get a big enough audience gathering, and maybe they start referring to those comics, then we'll invest in like reading them. But up until that point, this is currently the Goofy Movies podcast. Yes, we refer to their relevant works, which being Goof Troop,
Once Upon a Christmas,
Twice Upon a Christmas, and House of Mouse. And seemingly like the old cartoons.
I was gonna say the rebooted DuckTales, technically also.
Well, yeah, they only it's a single scene, but like
it counts.
Yeah, it does count. But I'm saying like that's like those are the only like relevant works that we're working with right now. If there's other things that answer some of our questions a bit more concisely, and like people start bringing that up, we'll get into them. I think it's fair to say we'll get into them because they deserve discussion. But yeah, like it's yeah, it's like so. There's this that's a, I think my theory is like a pretty solid theory currently. Because it all like leads up. But yeah, like Goof Troop is totally like assumed to be do like homework for the fucking Goofy movie. Because like yeah, again, because PJ didn't exist until Goof Troop, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and like the whole setting and everything about a Goofy movie comes from Goof Troop. Because
Pretty much.
because like I mean Goofy has had a son like in like some of the old cartoons called Goofy Jr., whom's been like whom is Max but also not. Because this is okay. So I was reading, and this is something I forgot to mention, is that there is an article on a Mrs. Goof, Mrs. Goof popped up in some of the old cartoons. Like you never saw her. She was like, you know what the cartoons do, where you see like just the legs and hands, like no face ever.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They have like she pops up in like that capacity, and she's like Mrs. Goof, and there's Goof Jr. But like that people kind of like assume that you know Goof Jr. is Max, but that's mostly speculation. That's not like confirmed in any capacity. Because yeah,
We don't know. It's
On the wiki, it does say that he was retrofitted to be, like Max was retrofitted to be him essentially.
well, yeah, but like, does Goof Jr. look like Max, or does he look like someone else?
Good question. I'm gonna look it up.
Because like because like
When you look up Goof Jr., all you get is Max. Oh, this is interesting.
mm,
There is Goofy Jr. has red hair.
what?
Yeah, he's like a weird looking.
Post.
Alright.
So, I feel. What the fuck?
Gaze upon it, viewers.
the human hands. Well,
This is our first visual element.
No,
Other
no.
than Aaron in the episode 1.
where's his ears?
That's a good question.
Well, he's a baby. Wait.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Well, babies don't have ears.
Okay, that's fair. Wait. You know what? This is really interesting. Because this
And the
leads.
nose.
Right?
No. Not only. Okay.
Goofy has two sons. Two sons theory.
No.
Well,
no.
To be fair, though, I will say this, and for a real life example, I was born like super blonde hair and blue eyes, but
Yeah,
if
that's what I was gonna say. Like that is something that happens sometimes where people are.
I'm dark haired and brown eyes now.
Yeah, exactly. That like some people are born with like lighter hair, and eventually like my older sibling, like have the same thing happen to them. But if this is Max, which yeah, again that's you know we don't know. Honestly, this photo it could or it couldn't be. Right? Can we say that?
This is technically an old cartoon, which if we're going by the actor's theory, it could just be some actor that was meant to play his son for the skit.
Or they hired Max as a child actor. Maybe have him like try to follow in the legacy. You know? But if this is Max, which it could or couldn't be, and like the red hair is a very interesting bit. Because, I would imagine, personally, that the animators and people aren't accounting for weren't accounting for him to become Max in the future to him get dark hair and whatnot.
This does play into the whole idea.
Redhead.
There's Goofy, red hair. Goofy's.
That's what I was about to say. This photo plays
Gives
into
credence
to the red hair theory, the redhead theory.
This photo was the last thing JFK saw before he was assassinated.
It was a mistake having Aaron on this episode.
Can you go back to just being text?
Aaron, I'm
Listen,
Aaron, high key, I'm being serious. We're taking this seriously. We
I'll
love
shut up.
No,
We don't want you to shut up. It's just you're putting a wet blanket over our serious discussion over the intricacies of the Goofy movies.
Oh wait, what are you gonna say, Aaron?
I have no dry blankets to offer.
Nah, that's fair.
This is Aaron we're talking about. So what the fact that I don't know what honestly we expected.
What were we expecting?
This is on brand for her, okay?
But Connor.
Yeah.
So this gives credence to our redhead theory a little bit, at least, right?
No.
It starts to hold a little bit of water.
Connor.
Yes, it does.
So
It definitely does. Sorry, I was taken aback. I'm trying to draw something, and I looked up Roxanne from Goofy Movie. And I found things that I didn't want to see.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
You should have known.
I still need to commission thick thick with a Q in order to have Bobby cucking Max.
No, don't make that happen, please.
I like her pussy.
So
Why is that productive, but I'm not?
Well, because
It's
Bobby's an actual
relevant.
Bobby's a character.
It's relevant to the Goofy Movie podcast. It's relevant to the works.
Yeah.
Where does JFK appear in any of the movies or reference?
Because we did talk about the possibility that the goofs have been cucked.
It's the Goof legacy to be cucked.
It could be not confirmed. But then again, there is that old cartoon where the milkman kisses Goof, expecting Mrs. Goof.
Exactly.
So.
And he laughs it off. What kind of real man would laugh off that and wouldn't put two and two together?
Yet again, this still comes from the old cartoons and exists in the the actor theory.
Nice.
Or actually, there is a fair possibility that some of the cartoons are acting and some of them are like actual events in Goofy's life. That's a really good human Sylvia. Holy shit.
that is a really good by Chelsea Menda. Go follow her on DeviantArt, I guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's DeviantArt Temple. But no, yeah. So yeah, there's a
I like it.
Oh yeah, I like it a lot
I
too.
love it.
It's really good.
But yeah, so yeah, there's like this Goof Jr. Photo very much like leads credence to like the Goofs being attracted to redheads theory. I feel
It's definitely true. At the very least, like we know Max to be attracted to at least two separate redheads across the two movies.
well, Mona is not really a redhead. She has brown
Sorry.
hair.
Wait, no, I'm not talking about Mona. I'm talking about the girl who he flirts with in the second and is like pursuing in that one scene in
Yeah. So wait, he flirts with a girl in an Extremely Goofy movie.
Yeah,
So-
they're not together ostensibly in the Goofy movie, which is
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're totally not together.
she's not mentioned once.
Not only is she not mentioned once, the fact that Max is like willingly flirting with girls means
Kind of fucked.
it's either A, he's a complete asshole, which I wouldn't even throw Max that far underneath the bus.
It's a college
wouldn't say
experience.
I wouldn't throw Max that far underneath the bus. But I will. But that does lead to the idea that Max and her broke up. Maybe it's like a college thing too. Like, oh, I'm going to this college, you're going to that college, so let's break up. You know, we're gonna be far, long distance. Because remember, this is the early advent like cell phones. Long distance was much harder back then than it is now.
Yeah.
So it's a bit fair. Which, by the way, I wanted to mention this earlier. I rewatched the Twice Upon a Christmas sketch, and bruh, that's like a whole load of nothing. Like,
yeah,
like I rewatched it, and it's literally it's really stupid because it's like Max phones home. He's like, and because he's with Mona, and they're about to get on the train to go home to Goofy, and he's like phoning home, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, remember how I said I'm bringing home this girl?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." And he's like, "Please don't embarrass me," and blah blah blah. He's like, "Hey, you have the scarf I knitted you," and it's like really like it's a typically Goofy like knitted scarf, all that shit. And so then they get on a train, and then it's just like a fucking pop song where it's like, "Dad, don't embarrass me, please, in front of this girl." And it's just these scenes of Max kind of like goofing it up a little bit in his own way, not as bad as Goofy, obviously. But then they get there, and Goofy's Goofy. He keeps doing his hijinks and all this shit, and then and then Max is like, "Oh, whatever, Dad, leave me alone." And then he walks out into the snow. He puts on the scarf by his dad. He's like, "Oh yeah, my dad made this for me." And then he goes back inside and sees Mona's having like the time of her life, just talking and chilling with Goofy, and she's laughing, having a gas. And then there's another pop song where it's like, "Wow, you made her like me, Dad. Thanks." I'm like, I thought she liked you ahead of time. She wouldn't come to your home on Christmas if she didn't like you. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand. Are they not together at that point?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's a kind of weird implication in that song that like they only got together because Goofy left such a good impression, I guess.
That's weird.
Yeah, and then she laughed so hard. It turns out that she has similar teeth to Goofy and Max, and then they just make snow angels in the pile of popcorn that Goofy made that spilled onto the roof. And it's just them like, "Yeah, we had a great Christmas," and that's the whole thing. They fucking replaced Roxanne for that. Can you believe
There's such a paper thin plot.
it's extremely paper thin, but it also shows that Max hasn't changed at all since an extremely Goofy movie either.
Which is just depressing.
Yeah, I know. Like it's so clear that Max's attitude doesn't bother Goofy at all at this point. So like well, yeah, we did say that Max technically didn't go through much character development in an extremely Goofy movie, so it's technically consistent. But like it's
consistently just flat.
But for Max, but Goofy clearly isn't bothered by the fact that his son is like embarrassed by him. He's just like, okay. And like he's like, "Whatever, give me my scarf," and he's like, "All right, I'll just go back inside. You do you." Like he's not letting it bother him at all because he's like Max will be Max. So yeah, it's at least it's consistent with the ending of an extremely Goofy movie.
Yeah.
All right, we hit the 39 mark. So we only have about 6 more minutes left. Any other things you want to hit on this episode?
Well, so the one thing that I did want to come back around to is which one do you guys think is better?
That is hard.
If I'm being honest, I'm going to go with an extremely Goofy movie.
Interesting.
I know, I know we've made fun of the extreme sports thing, but I still like the X Games. I know it sounds like I make fun of it like the most, But I do still like skateboarding. Look, people are so happy to see Tony Hawk Pro Skater come back and shit. After like the properly, So I like that. I like the fact that it's really focused a lot on Goofy. I like the fact that Goofy gets like a completely happy ending at the end by the end of an extremely Goofy movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, again, we don't know what happens to Sylvia afterwards because she doesn't pop up in Twice Upon a Christmas.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day,
Opportunity.
yeah, another wasted opportunity. I
There's
know.
no way her hair was too hard to animate. You could just put it up in that sexy afro that she has.
Yeah, you
Her,
could.
her white woman afro.
Yeah, you could. I mean, maybe
College.
maybe she had to go home to her parents for the holidays. We don't know.
They live in the same town.
Oh, we don't know that.
How far do you go?
They
from-
went to the same school, bro.
No, no, the college was far away. Remember? That's why Max was dorming.
Are we talking about, let's say, girlfriend? Are we talking about Roxanne, or are we talking about Sylvia?
Sylvia,
Oh,
but no, yeah. So yeah, like so, like maybe she had to go home to her parents. Like she decided to go home to her parents for like the holiday, or whatever. Or maybe like she went home with her parents because Max was coming home. She's like, maybe it's awkward for him still. That's a possibility. But anyway, like my point is, I enjoyed a Goofy movie a lot, obviously, but I think Extremely Goofy movie has a lot more rewatchability for me. Obviously, the animation isn't on par.
It's
with
still
it.
really good.
It's still really good, especially for like a direct to TV sequel.
Yeah.
But it's like I enjoy a lot of the aspects of an Extremely Goofy movie more. Like if I'm being honest, like when it comes down to like me rewatching the works, I am definitely looking forward to rewatching an Extremely Goofy movie more than I am looking forward to rewatching a Goofy movie.
Damn. I feel definitely the opposite way. I think I always have. But I definitely think I love an Extremely Goofy movie, but in my mind, and it's always been the lesser of the two.
That's fair.
Which just because like I just think the first one's a little bit more like memorable and like a little bit more. I understand like the point you're coming from, which is kind of a new sort of perspective that I'm seeing now. And it does make me appreciate it more. But I just think in general, the first one's like funnier, like just stronger as just like a standalone movie. Like just in general, I think, and even outside of like the technical aspects, because the animation is a little bit better, and like the only thing that's really technically better in the first one is like the backgrounds. I think they're just more expressive and like more.
Well, yeah, like it like what's it called? Like I don't know, like like what's it called? Like the Extremely Goofy movie feels like it's way more digital than.
Yeah, it's a lot cleaner looking.
Well, I want to say cleaner. It just looks like it was made digitally rather than hand drawn, like more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It probably was a different animation process for it.
Yeah. All right. Any thoughts, Adam?
well, what I was gonna say is like, I've seen both movies numerous times when I was younger. I watched Extremely Goofy movie a lot of times. I didn't own both. I owned Goofy movie on VHS tape, and I watched it over and over and over again as a kid, as I did with a lot of films. I rented Extremely Goofy movie from Blockbuster. Those were the days. If I had, like, if you had to twist my arm and say which one I liked more, I would have to say the first one, but only by just marginally, and it's more for personal reasons. Just like the father-son story is a lot more prevalent in Goofy movie than it is in Extremely Goofy movie, so it hits a lot closer to home for me and why I love it, and like it's hard for me to rewatch it without like tearing up. I just have a lot more memories watching Goofy movie than Extremely Goofy movie. Although on its own, Extremely Goofy movie is great, and for all the points that you've made and we discussed, I just like the father son story more than in a Goofy movie, considering it's more prevalent. You know,
Yeah, that's totally understandable. Yeah, and like these are two both great films. I think it's fair to say that they're both great, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
both fantastic.
Martin
Yes.
Scorsese wishes.
Yes, he does wish, but
Mhm.
but like I think it's fair to say that these are both great films. But they're also like, but that's also like they're also vastly different films because the first one's a fucking musical. The second one isn't at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single musical number in the second one, right?
The disco.
That's not a musical number. That's them dancing to music. Because like what's it called? Like Max doesn't sing a song. Goofy doesn't sing a song. None of them sing like what I mean by musical. I mean like an actual proper like musical. Like characters have their own songs.
Fair.
You using licensed music is, especially if you're using licensed music and not a personal characteristic way, because that was technically diegetic music. You know,
Fair.
like you wouldn't call Guardians of the Galaxy a musical. You know,
No.
But Twilight is.
you know, but
Might be a music video.
it might be a music video. But yeah, like these are both really great films, and it's really hard to choose one over the other. We both can agree with that. Because yeah, again, I think like maybe when it's time for me to like rewatch a Goofy movie, I'll feel better. I'll feel different by it. But that's what I'll see. I don't know now, but like I know that I love both of those films. There's a definitive reason all three of us, because like we're the only three that have me, Adam, and Connor are the only three who have seen both movies. Aaron and Brian have only seen the Goofy movie. It's extremely fair to say that like there's so much wealth of information and character and depth and all these things that are involved with these two movies specifically that like it caused us to want to talk about it so much. And I know like we bring up a lot of the relevant works like a lot too, but it's because we were so invested in the stories and the characters that they gave us in a Goofy movie and Extremely Goofy movie that we want to explore or avenues to see where it went. Um, I feel like if we're all being honest here, we would want to see a third.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely.
And you know, like that's it. Like you know, like we really fucking love these movies, and we like that. That's you know, because we've seen both of them. I think if we had only seen like a Goofy movie or just an Extremely Goofy movie, I don't think it would have mattered as much. But the fact that like Max and Goofy are kind of consistent characters between those two movies and the arcs or lack thereof, because yet again, like Max is a consistent character, uh, to a fault almost, which is great because I like if Max were to pop up in any work from this point forward, I would 100% understand his character. It's the reason why they felt comfortable with bringing up Max when Donald was having troubles with like raising his nephews, because Goofy had troubles raising Max, and he's like, "Oh gosh, I just let him have his space." Like it's because these characters are consistent and their relationships are so defined and so well defined that it's like almost it's a structure that you can go back to and use to reference almost like at any time, especially for those who are who know the works.
Yeah, man. I mean,
You do yourself a disservice if you only watch one and not the other. You need to watch both.
Definitely have to watch both. All right, I think that does it, right, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Good work, team.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all who listen so far. Thanks for watching the first 2 episodes. If you have, we really are. Like, we really do enjoy doing this. We really do enjoy the Goofy movies. I know, like, it's bad that we haven't rewatched them even by the 3rd episode. We'll get there, but we've talked about these movies so much so often that we just had to talk about them, record them, put them out there. So thank you for listening, for watching. Hopefully soon I'll get my shit together and I'll be able to upload it to actual different platforms, like proper podcast platforms. So yeah, don't forget to don't forget to subscribe. Please comment anything.
Feel free to add anything in the comments about what we discussed, and maybe we'll bring it up.
Yeah, if there's corrections or anything, please feel way more than welcome to just let us know.
Shout out to my.
Mhm.
I was gonna say shout out to my friend Maya in Sweden for watching our podcast videos.
Yeah, shout out to everyone who's watching them. Thank you guys. Any last words, Connor?
No, I think I'm all good.
All right. Well,
have a good day, everyone.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Bye.